All right, let's just wait for some people to trickle in before I get launched onto my bullshit. It's very cold in this room. I would have put on a jacket, but I wanted to show off this goofy t-shirt. Oh, God. Oh, man. You guys are really lucky that I'm doing this when Peacemaker's on in like 40 minutes because it's the season finale and Peacemaker's really goddamn good. And I'm sacrificing it for you. I'm Jesusing myself for all of you. I'm also Jesusing myself from fucking cold. I left my windows open all day yesterday because I was out for a while, and when I got back, it was 64 degrees in my room, and it really hasn't warmed up since because we don't quite have the heat on yet. So I'm just freezing my little nuts off, waiting for more viewers to trickle in because I don't want to waste my shit on the one person currently in there. No offense, one person, but you know. Ugh. Who the hell keeps fucking messaging me? Oh, okay, good. Chilly, chilly boy. Chilly, chilly boy. Chilly, 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 chilly boy. So how's everyone doing tonight on this lovely Thursday? Have you been inundated with obnoxious October 7th anniversary posts yet, or is that just my Twitter feed? I'm guessing it's mostly my Twitter feed because everybody on there is insane. It's part of the charm. Twitter wouldn't be the same without the lunatics, man. Like, where else am I going to hear a take like 9/11 was left-wing praxis because the people who died were on the financial sector? Like, that's lunacy. You're never going to see that on Blue Sky. You're never gonna see people saying that making chili for your neighbors is ableist or whatever. Twitter's lovely, man. Twitter is a delightful little hellscape that I'm addicted to. Wish I knew why I was so tired. I actually did sleep last night for once. I don't always because my brain has too many ideas. Yeah, what are you gonna do, I guess? Yawn your way through it. Alright, just a few more people trickle in before I waste my time. I'm kidding. I would never accuse you people of being a waste of time. By the way, sorry that I was slightly late. I had to go to the bathroom very urgently, and before that, I was wrapped up in my comic book. See, I have a wedding to go to next week. Week from tomorrow is when I'm going. It's in Boston. It's not like that big a trek, but you know, I always bring a book because I always have to read something before I go to bed. That's how I ease myself to sleep at night. The burden of being right about politics and movies all day. I need to ease myself to sleep. So for my birthday, I got this Milestone Compendium, Volume 3. You can see the first two back there. And I started reading it, and then I realized, fuck, I'm going to have to travel, and I don't want to travel with this book. Why, you ask? Because this book is this big. It's that big. That's how far in I am. About 550 pages into a 1,200 page comic book. It's got some really solid heft to it, as you can see. So I don't really want to have to put that in my bag and add like 4 pounds of weight to my bag. So I'm trying to finish it before I travel so I can bring a smaller book. And everyone's like, oh, just bring another book, read 2 books at once. I hate reading 2 books at once. I don't want to do that. It's annoying. I only have the one bookmark. I don't want to have to make another, or worse, dog ear the goddamn book. So my choices are travel with this big heavy monstrosity that you can't see because the camera's angle isn't low enough. Travel with this big heavy monstrosity, or spend extra time reading it so you can finish it before Friday morning. So that's what I'm doing. And I act like it's a punishment, but it really isn't, because this comic is really good. They had an awesome whole storyline about a trans woman who's a detective investigating a serial killer who's targeting the trans prostitutes in the city. And meanwhile, there's like this kind of twisted vigilante who specializes in killing sexual predators, and he's tracking the guy too. And it's from 1994. So to those of you who say comic books didn't used to be political, I point you to Milestone, to the Death Wish miniseries, which has no relation to the movie Death Wish, though it definitely takes inspiration from it. But I love that. I love when comic books take bold political stances for their era, especially as bold a one as this back then. Because that took some serious balls. Like, most of the mainstream publishers would have been very reluctant to publish that. I mean, they put the kibosh on the lesbian wedding issue with Batwoman in like 2009. And this is DC too. Like, Milestone is a subsidiary of DC, so they clearly had a lot of creative autonomy, or they wouldn't have had the chance to publish this. But I'm glad they did, because it was really good. What are you gonna do? Yeah, Milestone's cool. That's where like Static Shock the cartoon. He's from Milestone, and it's got Hardware and Icon on Rocket and Shadow Cabinet. I don't care as much about, but I still read it because it's in there. Zombie, that one kind of got lost in the shuffle. Everybody forgets about it, but Zombie's great. I love Zombie. Spelled with an X, Xombi, because they got to be fancy with it. I like the weird mixture of mad science and magic and religious, power, whatever the fuck. It's cool shit. It's really cool shit. I wish they'd publish more of it. I mean, it says a lot about how relatively little they publish, that they could fit all of it into a series of compendiums, even 1,200 page each ones. But it's really cool shit. I'm glad I'm reading it, and I'm glad they finally collected it. I've been wanting to read it for like 10, 15 years, and I've been waiting because none of it's collected physically, and I hate using like the comic reading online websites because they don't fucking work. You get spammed with ads and shit. And I know I can install the ad blocker, which kind of works, but not really. Um, one of these days, maybe I'll do that. One of these days, I also need to get a better lighting setup and stop using my monitors as my light because it makes me a sheet. It makes me pale as a goddamn ghost. I look like I have the flu. Man. Man, I'm excited for Peacemaker. I don't know about any of you, but I've been loving the season, like maybe even more than the first, and I love the first. So if it weren't for you, I'd be like anxiously awaiting it right now. I'd be taking my handy dandy CBD gummies. There's not anything else in them, of course. That would be very, very bad. That'd be very, very bad. So instead, I'm slaving away in the content mines for you ungrateful degenerates. I'll have to watch Peacemaker at like 9:30 instead of 9. I truly do suffer for my art. I truly suffer for my audience. As I said earlier, I am Jesus. I am equally suffering as Jesus Christ once did. I've even got the hair. See, kinda. I kinda have the hair. Not really. It's wet right now because I took a shower to warm myself up, and also because I was a stinky, stinky boy. Let me ask you guys a question. You ever take a post-shower poop? Like it always, as Daniel Tosh once said, you want to get back in bed and start your day over. It's miserable. I hate it. You take the fucking slidey toilet seat soaking wet dump. I hate doing that. Luckily, that's not what happened to me today. I just had to go like an hour later. But still, why couldn't you have done this an hour ago when I was getting in the shower and could spray my butthole clean? This is definitely the stuff to talk about on YouTube to build your audience. Am I right? Oh man. As the title tonight says, it's a hungry world out there. They're gonna eat you alive, son. Oh yeah. Ugh. Speaking of eating, I had the best goddamn mac and cheese earlier. Mac and cheese topped with pulled pork. Got it from this like food truck thing that was at a festival that happens. I mean, this is the final one for the season, but it was fucking good, man. I mean, I know that if I ate like that every day, I'd die young, but it'd be worth it maybe. Ugh. I'm gonna pull up a document for a second. Hang on. And I have so much stuff saved to watch for the show, to do research on. And man, I'm looking at the list I wrote here, and man, so much of this is awful. Like I really, really don't want to watch Jack and Jill for you, but I'm gonna fucking do it for you ungrateful degenerates. I am going to watch Jack and Jill and do I don't know if I'm gonna do a review or a Patreon commentary or what. I need to start plugging that Patreon. Speaking of, next time I'll actually put the link in the description. But I'm just looking at this list. It's like, oh my god, I don't want to watch Jack and Jill. I don't want to watch goddamn My Son Hunter or the God's Not Dead movies or fucking The Love Guru. I saw that one once. It was dog shit. I never want to see it again, but I'm gonna have to for you assholes. Fucking bastards. The Walking Deceased. God, I forgot that I saw that. I wish I hadn't. That movie's awful. Oh my god. Roadhouse 2. Anyone ever seen Roadhouse 2? And I don't mean the remake on Amazon Prime. I mean Roadhouse 2 from 2006, the direct to video Roadhouse sequel with none of the original cast in it. And it is as good as it sounds. And by that I mean it's the worst thing ever made. And then there's the Roadhouse remake, which is also terrible. Not quite as terrible, but it is fucking awful. I have Megalopolis on this list. I'd like to watch that. I don't know what its current status is. Let me check. Let me check what the current status, like release wise, of Megalopolis is, because Francis Ford Coppola was doing some weird shit with it. Oh, hello, Wadley. It's good to see you. Megalopolis. 45%. You mean a Rotten Tomatoes? Yeah, well, I've seen the movie. I saw it in theaters. And my thoughts were like, it's kind of weird and stupid, but I admire the fact that this insane elderly man who's had this idea for half a century finally got it made. So I did see it. In fact, coincidentally, I did a double feature that day. I saw Megalopolis and then The Substance, and I think I gave myself brain damage by watching those two back to back because neither is a normal movie, but goddamn it, both are memorable for very different reasons. Okay, so it looks like. Wait, hang on. That's the fucking AI overview. I'm not gonna check that shit. Okay, so it looks like Megalopolis is rentable on digital, but it's not on streaming because Coppola wanted to like keep it in theaters, like tour with it or whatever, like the old days. I'm tempted to see it just to see how Coppola's doing these days, especially after being impressed by Rainmaker and Jack. Well, the thing with Coppola is that he made the Godfather movies and he made Apocalypse Now, and that is all it takes for me because I love all of those, especially Apocalypse Now. So he could have made nothing else for the rest of his life, and I would have just been like, yep, yeah, fair enough. Like, make your weird little art shit or retire to your winery or whatever it is because I know he financed a huge chunk of Megalopolis himself, like maybe all of it. He was like selling stakes in his wine business or whatever. Oh, hang on. It doesn't look like it is rentable anymore. There was like a listing. It was rentable digitally, and then there was like a listing for the physical release that then got canceled. Hang on. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. Yeah, I mean, granted, this article's from March, so maybe it's maybe it doesn't quite work the same way, but you know, that one looks long. But I know I need to see Apocalypse for completion the same way I need to see THX. Yeah, for a long time, THX was the one Lucas movie I'd never seen, but Apocalypse Now, the theatrical cut isn't that long. It's like 2 hours 20 something. There are extended cuts. There's two. There's the Redux, however the fuck you pronounce it, from 2001, and then there's the final cut from like a few years ago. I've seen all three. My favorite is the theatrical, but any of the three would be good. Um, I read about that too with Coppola sacrificing his vineyard, hope his new motel business making up a little bit of difference after the flop. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he cares really. He had this idea literally for the last 50 years. Like he wrote his first kind of treatment for it on the set of Apocalypse Now. Uh, and he finally got to make it. And I feel really bad because his wife died like really shortly before it came out. It's got a dedication to her in the credits. So I feel really bad for him. But hey, insane elderly man gets to make his last little hurrah, or maybe it's not his last. Maybe he'll keep doing movies because he's like 87, but he seems to not be dying. So all right, go on, Francis. You have earned infinite goodwill from me with Apocalypse Now, and also The Godfather. Though controversial opinion, I like Apocalypse Now even better. That's one of those movies that just like sticks in my head. It never fully leaves me. Like I'm always kind of probably once a day I think of some scene from that and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, that was so good. Any interest in Brian De Palma's final upcoming film? I honestly thought De Palma was dead. I'm gonna go check this out. De Palma final film. Okay. I mean, I've seen some of these, of course. I haven't seen every movie he's made. Scarface is great, of course. Um, Domino. Go away. Wow. Okay, this is interesting. So, this is his most recent movie, which, as you can see from this poster, looks fake. This looks like a fake movie. This looks like something you'd see in, like, The Boys or, like, some other movie about Hollywood. And as you can see here, received generally negative reviews, and I guess De Palma didn't like how it came out because they had to cut a bunch of shit during shooting. So that's his most recent film, and that's what's showing up on Wikipedia. But I guess he does have something else. Oh, did he get kicked out of Hollywood after Black Dahlia flopped? I could believe that. They really do never forgive you if you have certain failures, don't they? They're such bastards. Um, you know what? That's not important. There's nothing I can really glean from that. But yeah, it's kind of funny. Like you can make everything after that's been internationally produced, like Domino. Yeah, okay, I believe you. It is really funny. You can make like the biggest success, like for example, with Francis Ford Coppola. I get that Apocalypse Now was a long time ago, and that not every movie he's made since has been a success, but you'd think that and the Godfather movies would buy him infinite blank checks from Hollywood. And apparently not. Apparently they're still pissed that Jack wasn't as good as they expected or whatever. Yeah, I remember that with Wolfgang Peterson. Or for a really old historical example, Orson Welles basically got stuck self-financing his movies for like the rest of his career after Citizen Kane, which of course now everybody says is the best movie ever made, and they're kind of right. It is really fucking good. So I don't know. Hollywood is a fickle mistress. They'll keep giving jobs to Michael Bay forever because he squeaks out a profit most of the time. But then Brian De Palma just has like a few movies that don't do particularly well, and suddenly they're like, "Fuck you, we don't want your shit anymore." All right, fine. Meanwhile, they still let Roman Polanski accept awards, even though he's like in hiding from the U.S. government over his whole, the incident, shall we say? Oh, and also, since it's up, Might as well bring it up to make fun of it. Look at this shit. The AI overview is just completely fucking wrong here. Look at this. His last feature film was Passion. No, that's not true. Fucking can you read? Look at this. That's just simply not the case. Fuck you, AI. Let me bring up this thing just to make sure that I'm not completely talking out of my ass. Yeah, he made another movie after that. Granted, maybe it wasn't in the US, but like, fuck you. I hate AI so much. I can't wait till the bubble bursts and the entire economy collapses. Because Americans need to suffer. They need to learn their lesson. Scorsese hasn't really made a profit since Wolf of Wall Street. You think he's next to get the boot? Part of me wants to say yes, but the thing is that even his movies that don't make a profit are enormous successes critically. Like Killers of the Flower Moon didn't really make a profit because they didn't fucking release it in theaters. They gave it a limited release and then dumped it on Apple TV. But everybody loved it. So I think they're going to keep giving Scorsese money. I mean, he's pretty up there in age. He's not going to live forever. But I mean, I think he's got another few in him. I hope so anyway. He's made some amazing shit. Taxi Driver, I mean that by itself. Fucking Cape Fear and The Departed and goddamn like how many Mean Streets, King of Comedy, like how many fucking amazing movies has Scorsese made? Enough that we'll tolerate the fact that he fails occasionally. Or not even fails like as films. They just sometimes don't do well at the box office. But like fuck you then. What do you want from me here? As Steven Spielberg once said, I've earned the right to fail financially. Can he rely on critical reception if the money's in there? I think at this point, yes. I think at this point he has bought enough goodwill that that they'll kind of, especially because he's so old. Like I think they'll just, out of pity, if nothing else, keep funding his goddamn projects. Because Coppola, of course, made some of the biggest movies ever, but I don't think he's made as many movies as Scorsese. Because Scorsese just like cranks out hit after hit after hit. You know, why am I wondering when the magic internet box sitting right in front of me will tell me the answer? I probably didn't even spell Scorsese right, but that's okay. Oh yeah, Goodfellas, Shutter Island. I forgot that he fucking did those. That's how many good movies he's done. I forget which movies he's done. As of 2023, Scorsese has directed 26 full-length narrative films. All right, how many has Coppola done? I'm guessing I mean probably a similar amount, but I'd imagine that not all of them did as well. Okay. Can I just get like a summary so that I don't have to do math? Yeah, he has done fewer. He's done 25, and Scorsese's done 26, not including documentaries. Though Coppola, while he's done almost as many movies, he okay, so one of those he co-directed. All right. Or he only directed one segment of it because it's an anthology type of thing. Oh, and some of these are shorts. All right. Yeah, so he's done like a few fewer, and not all of them were monster hits the way Scorsese's were. I'm not getting into who's a better filmmaker or anything, but Scorsese probably has more that I really like. But that does. I haven't seen not any of them. I haven't seen all of them by any means. Oh yeah, I forgot he did Last Temptation of Christ. That one's pretty good, especially considering that I fucking hate religion and I hate religion movies. Good for him. Come on, StreamYard. Fucking bring up the goddamn comment that I want to highlight. Okay, I'll just read it. While Coppola certainly hasn't made as many critical hits, Scorsese, there it is. Scorsese's been the most consistent out of the new Hollywood directors. I think you're right, yeah. Certainly, I don't know if consistent in terms of number of films. I'd have to go look at the full list, but certainly most consistent in terms of box office success. I mean, the average person, like the average kind of casual movie going person, probably knows offhand the names of like 4 or 5 directors, and Scorsese's probably in there. It's like him and Spielberg and like, I don't know, maybe Ryan Coogler now because of Sinners. Jordan Peele. I don't know. Maybe it's not as low as 5, but it's fucking low. Scorsese excels more because he's stuck to what he's good at, but I think Coppola and Spielberg have taken more risks in diversifying their projects. Coppola certainly has. Spielberg, I guess it is a risk, but he's Spielberg, so all of his risks have paid off. So it doesn't really, in hindsight, it doesn't feel like a risk. Like, yeah, doing Empire of the Sun, for example, which is the movie about which he made that comment of earn the right to fail financially. Yeah, I guess you could say that was a risk because it was so different from other movies he'd done, but it fucking paid off, if not financially, then critically, because people really liked it. And it, has been remembered very fondly by history. It probably would have done better if it hadn't come out at like Christmas. When it come out? Christmas of '87? Fire of the Sun. Okay, yeah, here we go. Let me share it with you. Yeah, film earned $22.24 million North America, blah, blah, blah. Earning more than its budget, but still considered a box office disappointment by Spielberg. Though, it probably says in here that he said that he earned the right to fail financially. Yeah, I meant like there's more variety to Spielberg's filmography, which seems to imply he's been required to take more risks by choosing vastly different paths. Yeah, I mean, you're right. He has taken a number of risks. It's just that a risk doesn't seem very risky when we are looking at it with hindsight and we know that, that it worked out for him. Yeah, Color Purple and Temple of Doom being only a year apart and being as different as they are, yeah, that is pretty nuts. TV show. Oh, sorry, I got distracted. ADHD. So, yeah, I mean, like, has Spielberg ever had a movie that really like failed? Not really. And there's been ones that didn't do as well at the box office. There's been ones that didn't do as well critically, but like, he's fucking Spielberg. The flow 1941, did that one fail? I honestly forgot about that movie, as I think everyone else does. I forgot that was Zemeckis and Gale. Okay, Wikipedia says that it was still a moderate box office success. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Not every movie of his is a monstrous hit at the box office. Not every movie of his is a monstrous hit critically. But they've all been reasonably successful in either or both of those two things. And okay, so you, Wadley, are saying that Hook and Lost World are the only other two that don't have like positive scores on Rotten Tomatoes, and that between those three, Lost World is your least favorite. I have not seen it since I was a kid. I remember thinking it was okay, but not as good as the first Jurassic Park. But I'd need to watch it again to properly judge it. But I've seen enough clips from it to know that it's still shot really well. Like it's it's fucking Spielberg. Um, but he's another one. Like he made Jaws. He made fucking 4 of the 5 Indiana Jones movies. He made goddamn E.T. Like after he is right, it's not just that he's earned the right to fail financially. After fucking E.T., he earned the right to fuck off with his millions and go retire for the rest of his life. And instead, he's been fucking cranking out movie after movie for the last 100 fucking years, almost. He's been making movies since the early 70s, literally half a century. And that's only like features. He was making, TV stuff before then, like when he was really young. The the motherfucker was like 26 when he made Jaws. Or no, I guess he was 27. Yeah, he was 26 when he made Duel. Yeah, Jaws he was like 30. But still, like fuck you, man. Like you're my age and you're making something as good as Duel. Like fuck you. Duel is great. The effects and story of Lost World are decent, but it runs out of gas in the finale worse than Furious 7. Coincidentally, he also did Amistad 97, and the latter one's my favorite of his. That's an interesting favorite given some of the movies Spielberg's made, but it's a bold choice. I'll respect it. I don't know. Nothing for me can top Indiana Jones. Any of them. I constantly oscillate trying to decide whether or not Raiders or Last Crusade is my favorite of those movies. Raiders is so quintessential and has the best romantic lead for him by far. But fuck me, so many of my favorite scenes in the whole franchise are from Last Crusade. Like the scene where Indy steps out onto the bridge, he takes the leap of faith, he steps out onto the bridge, and it's the invisible thing. I remember watching that for the first time when I was like 5, and I remember the impact that shot had on me, and it's never left me, no matter how many times I've rewatched the movie since. I have a soft spot for courtroom dramas, so when you marry Philadelphia with Schindler's List, take my money. Schindler's List, I'm torn between whether or not I want to buy the disc so I can watch it whenever I want, or whether I want to never see it again. Because it's an amazing movie, but holy good goddamn Christ, is it difficult to watch. Temple of Doom and Last Crusade are also still really high on my list of favorites from him, too. Yeah, Last Crusade might be my favorite, man. It's so fucking good. It's so good. Like, there's Sean Connery. I'm back. Sorry about that. Internet shat the bed. Fly, yes. Land, no. God, I love that movie. Just like the whole, like it's like 90% chase scenes, the motorcycle thing, the plane thing, the fucking tank battle. I wish Lego didn't have that like moratorium on military stuff because I've wanted a Lego set of the tank battle my entire life. The ending scene where Indy's hanging there trying to grab the Grail, and his father finally calls him Indiana, and you realize, like, my God, his father spent literally his entire life searching for this fucking Grail at the expense of all else, and then he finally has it in his grasp, and he says, "Fuck that! I care about my son more." Like, God damn, that movie's so fucking beautiful. Oh God. Like I could watch it again right now. I want the Lego tank from the first video game. Looks like an iron Twinkie. Yeah, so because of Lego's general moratorium on military stuff, I wonder if that's why the tank looks like that instead of being more like a tank. And funny enough, I say that they don't make military stuff, but I mean, they made exceptions for Indiana Jones stuff. I have this set here. This is like the Lego of the plane fighter chase dogfight, whatever the fuck, from like 2009 is when this set is from. And it actually has the Iron Cross on it. Like you'd think they would have taken that off. It would have been really easy to take. Horizon. But, anyway, I think it's working now. So they not only made a military vehicle, but they made one with a pretty controversial symbol on it. And I'm not like giving them shit about that because it's, accurate to the movie. I know they'll never do this, and it's for the best that they don't. But in terms of ethics, I would have been okay with them putting the swastika on that thing because that's what it looked like in the movie. But for very obvious reasons, that isn't a good idea. And so they didn't, and I respect that. I wish that they'd make more military moratorium exceptions, specifically with Indiana Jones. I want more goddamn Indy sets. The Iron Cross is, I believe, still used by the German military today. It's a symbol some historians have separated from something like the swastika because there's a different origin behind it. That's true, but it is still fairly controversial, and it's not helped by the fact that real-life neo-Nazis, especially ones in Germany, will often use that on their flags because in Germany, the swastika is legally banned, and they'll lock your motherfucking ass up for flying it, for owning a piece of property with it on it. Like hell, even the German soldiers after World War II, because there's after you leave the military, you're allowed to keep your dress uniform and shit. They were allowed to keep their uniforms, but they were stripped of the symbols, like the eagle head pin. I don't forget what the fucking eagle thing is called, but that's stupid goddamn thing that they use. They stripped them of that and the swastika armbands and like any symbol specific to Nazi iconography, they weren't allowed to keep. They were allowed to keep basically just the jacket and pants. And so anyway, that's how strict Germany is with the Hitler shit. And so because the Iron Cross is not one of the banned symbols in Germany because of the aforementioned military use, German neo-Nazis will sometimes fly the Iron Cross as a dog whistle, or though it's not much of a dog whistle if you know what it means. They also, coincidentally, fly the Confederate flag. So for those of you who say that it's heritage and not hate, I point to you, the fat neckbeard neo-Nazis running around Germany. It certainly depends on the context. World War II context would make it offensive, but I think something like World War I's a completely different playing field. Granted, no one today really wears for the latter. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like arguing the ethics of the Iron Cross. I don't care that they put it on the Lego. I kind of appreciate them taking that stance for the sake of authenticity to the movie. I'm just surprised that they do that, but they wouldn't make a Lego set of the tank. I mean, you can see a ton of my Indiana Jones stuff back there. They made like Soviet military vehicles for all the Crystal Skull sets. They even say CCCP on them. Like, it's kind of, I don't know. Lego's just a little weird about it, but that's fine. Like, I get that their whole thing is being for kids and being fun. And so that's why they're pretty limited in what kind of real life guns they make. And I get it. That's fine. It's also the same case with the Pickelhaube, becoming associated with neo-Nazism, even though historically it was an exclusive World War I helmet that was discontinued because it did fuck all against shrapnel. I didn't know it was called that, but thank you for teaching me that historical fun fact. Are you talking about the one with the spike on the head? Yep. Yeah, that's the spiky one. All right. Yeah, those things. I mean, I know what they're associated with, so I treat them at I keep them at arm's length, but they do look kind of cool. I mean, they look silly enough that I'm like, hey, that's kind of cool. The bishop point is what it's called. Thank you. Thank you for teaching me that. This is a learning experience tonight. Speaking of learning experiences, I'm not getting off yet, but I want this thing to be kicking in when I watch Peacemaker, so I'm going to take my perfectly legal CBD gummy now. ASMR of me chewing. They really got to not make those taste good. Because one of these days I'm going to forget and I'm going to say, I want another. And I'm going to eat like 7 of them. And I'm going to be on my fucking ass for the rest of the night. Well, I guess the UTAT is too violent in comparison to the turbo tank to create in Lego, which is why the Galactic Marines up the ladder. Yeah, their moratorium does not apply to fictional stuff like Star Wars. But Indiana Jones is a little bit loosely because it is an adventure movie, but is based in real history. The reason I say loosely is because they did not have MP40s in the era the Indiana Jones movies take place, and yet they all use them. But hey, it's a throwback to 30s adventure serials. The fact that it plays a little fast and loose with history is a feature, not a bug. Oh, you just call it the Bishop Point because it sounds silly. Okay. Because I would have believed you if you told me that that's what it looks like. Or what it is called, I suppose. Yeah, I want more goddamn Indiana Jones Legos. They had another that was supposed to be coming out, and they kind of quietly canceled it because it was a Temple of Doom set. I don't know if it's because Temple of Doom is kind of racist, but that would be a reasonable assumption. But we're in the age of Trump now, baby. Racism is back in vogue. So I say, let me have it. Oh, the Chilean military still uses those. All right, that's cool, I guess. I did not know that. I don't know much about military garb. I mostly know about like battles and geopolitical influences. But basically like World War II and after I know a decent amount about because that's what is cool to me. Well, not cool, of course, but what fascinates me historically. I don't know as much about like World War One. Though I've read some cool books about it. So like I know a decent amount about World War One. It's just, World War II is the one that created everything we live in today. It's the even better sequel. I also have a dad who's fucking obsessed with World War II, so just through osmosis, I learned a ton of stuff. He still finds it. It's World War II and the Beatles. Those are like 2 of the things he's obsessed with. He's seen every fucking documentary there is about both subjects, and then I'll like catch him watching a new one, or not even new. It'll be one from like 10 years ago, and I'm like, "How did you not see that already? And how are you still interested? Is there any part of the story you don't know?" That is true. Okay. The food scene in Temple of Doom, I view it as a symbolic absurdity to the fact that these people were evil, not that they're just foreign to American hero indie. So that is the thing. The gross out chilled monkey brains food scene is the one that everyone says is racist. And I hate to use this argument because it didn't make it into the movie, but it is worth noting. You can logic this out in the movie, but it's more explicit in the novelization of Temple of Doom. They do make it clear that them eating chilled monkey brains and live snakes and shit is supposed to be the first sign that something is up with them. Because obviously we don't really have like internal monologues in movies most of the time, but in the book version we have Indies, and he actually like when he's watching this go down notes, these guys are Hindus. They're supposed to be vegetarians. Why are they eating fucking chilled monkey brains and shit? So that is, it's not as racist as it looks with no context. It was still probably ill-advised, but it was the 80s. There's a limited extent to which I'll blame Spielberg and Lucas and company because, like, just white Americans didn't as fully understand they do now what racism. I mean, like, remember, this is the era with the ancient Chinese secret commercial. Like, white Americans have a very particular type of racism they engage in, and there we go. They know what it looks like to be racist to Hispanic people, Latinos, and like this back then, of course. They didn't really know what racism against Indians or Asian, well, Indians are Asian, like Chinese, let's say. They didn't really know what Chinese or Indian racism looked like back then. Not as much. Americans are pretty fucking pampered about that shit. It's still not great, but I'm willing to play defense for it a little bit more than I would if it were just like a black dude eating fried chicken next to Indiana Jones. Like, all right, in 1984, the most sheltered white person knows that that's racist. But fucking camera's down. There it is. I fucking hate my internet. I need to fix it. Yeah, so Temple of Doom is a little racist, but after that makes me sound like such a fucking asshole. It's probably the worst of the original 3 Indiana Jones movies, in part because of the racism. But god damn it, it's really fucking good. It's got some amazing shit in it. Got some great action scenes, acting performances, set pieces. We get to find out a little bit about Indy as a character. He gets a little bit of character development, which isn't really a thing. He's a fairly flat character in most of the movies. Because that's the point. The point is that he's like the vessel through which you go on the adventure. It has the best finale of the 3. I actually disagree. I think the best finale of the 3 is Last Crusade. Like the one through the temple and the Grail Knight, and he chose poorly. But yeah, Temple of Doom, the bridge scene's fucking amazing. That's another one they never made a Lego of. They only made 2 Temple of Doom sets. They made the temple itself with the minecart track and everything, and then they made the Shanghai car chase, which, if you look behind me, is possibly visible. Yeah, there it is, down there. I had to look for where it is. Oh yeah, the Indian kids running to their parents was great, and it was, even though it's a little white saviory, it was great to see that Indy goes in there for the treasure, and then the second he finds out kids are in danger, says, "Fuck that! I'm rescuing these goddamn kids." It says a lot about who he is as a character. That's part of why, because like his whole thing is that he collects artifacts for museums. Like that has imperialist undertones to it, and part of why Indy survives that in the modern age in popularity, other than the fact that the movies are really good, is the fact that he's a humanitarian first, and that he will gladly throw all of those artifacts into the fucking volcano if it means rescuing people. Yeah, I forgot the canyon. It was fucking real. You're right. That was great. Yeah, you're right. It is an Asian savior film because of Short Round. Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, it's just like seeing the white guy rescue the Indian kids can potentially be a white savior move. Though then again, he did get personally requested by the Indian people. So, though technically they were Sri Lankans. India wouldn't let them shoot the movie because they thought it was racist. And that's why all the Indian villagers speak the wrong dialect or even whole language, if I remember correctly. But yeah, like I said, 30s adventure serial throwback. It being kind of fast and loose with the facts is a feature. It's the same how like Stranger Things. They don't really do this a ton because it needs to be fun and people wouldn't enjoy it, but like I would have been okay with the Stranger Things kids being casually homophobic. Like just making little like, jabs at each other, like homophobic jabs with their friends. Because that's what the era was like. Like if you include that, that's a feature. In older movies, you could argue it's a bug because they were just like reflecting what society looked like. But in a period, sorry, I had a burp stuck in my chest. But in a period piece, that's a feature. It's I don't know. It's like how when you watch Mad Men or some other thing set in the 50s or 60s, like they go out of their way to show you the fact that everyone's fucking smoking constantly. In older movies, that was kind of an accident almost, like just because that's how everyone was. They just showed it as it is. It's like for like a really simple example, you watch a movie from the mid 70s and the guy's wearing like bell bottom jeans. That was really a purposeful statement back then. That's just what the jeans look like. Whereas you watch a 70s period piece movie made today, they put them in those fucking jeans on purpose. That's part of why some of those period pieces don't really work. Like I kind of I might have said this on stream before, I might not have, but I've mentioned before how I really love the movie Taking Pelham 123. Go away. Not you, this thing. And part of why I love that movie so much is because it feels very authentic to the time period. And part of why it feels so authentic to the time period is that it's kind of authentically bigoted. I mean, not like really, but there are characters who speak negatively about the fact that women are allowed in this job, especially in the job of police. There's one guy throughout the movie who complains that they could potentially be letting a woman be a cop. Um, and even the main character, though he is kind of like the all right, tone it down with that shit type of attitude. Even he, because they don't know, they know there's a cop amongst the hostages, but they don't know who, so they don't know if it's a man or a woman. Even he seems to be like a little more worried about who it is if it's a woman, because like he feels that a woman has even less of a chance at taking down four-armed hijackers than a man would. Which, if it comes down to a fist fight, maybe he's right. And he wasn't like being sexist about it. He just kind of said it offhand, like, that cop's in danger, especially if it's a dame or whatever. And yes, he does say dame. But the shitty dismissive attitude towards women in that movie is authentic. That wasn't there for the filmmakers to say, look how fucking bad they were back then. They were just depicting reality. And that means it feels more natural, and it doesn't it still delivers the message of, hey, this is shitty behavior without like beating you over the fucking head with it. There's even a little bit of racism in the movie, but only from one of the villains, and even the other villain gives him shit for it. So, because if you haven't seen it, the leader of the villains is very pragmatic with his bad guy shit. He just wants to get his money and keep everything calm until he gets his money. But one of his underlings is like kind of a nutcase. And so when a black guy kind of doesn't even so much talk back to him as he does like make an aside, he whacks the dude in the face with his gun and he says, "Shut up, ninja." Only he doesn't say ninja, he says the other one. And the leader of the bad guys like says, "Hey, stop that, motherfucker." Like he doesn't say his name, of course, because criminals. But he's like, he gives him the like, "Hey, fucking cool it. We're trying to keep things calm here. Look." Which I always kind of like that. I like when the villains recognize the fact that racism is irrational, and then they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Anyone ever read Superman Smashes the Klan? Which you probably can't see because it's so small, but it is up there. It's between a few other Superman comics. So there's as its title suggests, it's about Superman fighting a group called the Clan of the Fiery Cross, who are a very, very, very thinly veiled stand-in for the Ku Klux Klan. The only reason they use the stand-in is because they're adapting an episode of the old Superman radio show from the 40s. So they kept the name of it from that back when they weren't allowed to directly call them the KKK. But the there's like the main bad guy, the chief executive of bad guys, who's the guy we don't really meet. We just know he's there. He's like the leader. And one of his underlings is kind of the main antagonist for most of the book. And he's like a dyed in the wool true believer in racism and everything. And he finally gets to meet Boss because he's like this enigmatic figure no one ever really gets to meet. And he finds out that just like in real life, the Clan of the Fiery Cross was literally started as like a money laundering operation for organized crime, and that's what the guy is into. And when he realizes this lieutenant of his is a genuine racist, he's like, wait, what's wrong with you? You actually buy this shit? This is to make money. What are you doing? And then the lieutenant guy feels betrayed, and he fucking like he becomes the main bad guy at the end. Superman has to save the day. But it's great. I love it when the villain is smart enough to go like, "What the fuck are you doing? We don't do actual racism here. That's a grift. We're here to make money, motherfucker." I love it because that's what racism is in real life. None of these motherfuckers believe in anything. There's like the saying, "Never ask a white supremacist the ethnicity of his girlfriend," because they're all because racism, most bigotry comes from psychosexual shit. And so like a ton of fucking racists are at best attracted to black women because it's the forbidden fruit or whatever. And then sometimes they're specifically into watching white women be sexually dominated by black men. I mean, Christ, how many centuries old is the whole like Mandingo trope where the black man with his giant powerful cock will steal your white woman or whatever? Like it's a bunch of fucking bullshit. It's psychosexual insecurity horseshit by pathetic, fat, sweaty losers. It's baby brain shit, racism. I'm taking a bold stand in this era. Racism is baby brain bullshit. But like it's fucking what was his name? Strom Thurmond? I always mix up Strom Thurmond and George Wallace because there was like they were the same type of asshole in roughly the same era. But yeah, it was Strom Thurmond. Strom Thurmond spends his whole fucking career, well, not his whole career, he fucking softened on it eventually, but he never renounced his old shit. Strom Thurmond, like, spends his time in the limelight talking about how, like, we got to keep the blacks out of here and segregation's the best. He, until very recently, held the record for longest filibuster ever 24 hours and 8 minutes, which he did in an attempt to prevent the passage of the 50. Camera comes back. There we go. Strom Thurmond is like fucking screaming and raving like a lunatic about keeping the white women safe from the black degenerates or whatever. He had a fucking secret black child. When he was 20, he fucked his parents' housekeeper's 16-year-old daughter, which a little bit pedo-y, by the way, not as much in that era, but I think it is. And housekeeper in the South in that era, black. So he fucked her. Well, wasn't really fucking given the age. It was sexual abuse, but he fathered a child with her and quietly paid them child support her whole fucking childhood. Like, none of these motherfuckers believe in anything. If he actually was like racist enough, like, I mean, how many fucking slave masters raped their goddamn slaves? If you actually were authentically racist, you wouldn't want a black person touching your dick. And I hate to say this, almost respect it more because at least it's fucking consistent. But none of these people goddamn believe in anything. And to answer your question, Wadley, yes, he was a Dixiecrat. And then once the Democrats passed the Civil Rights Act, he switched to Republican in protest and stayed that way until 2003. Strom Thurmond lived to be 100 years old. He died in office, or died very shortly after leaving office, but I think he was in office still, in 2000 motherfucking 3. If anything is going to convince you that we need term limits, it's that shit. Strom Thurmond first took office. Let me look this up to make sure that I'm right. Also, who names their kid Strom? Who names their fucking kid Strom? Oh, that was his middle name? James Strom Thurmond Sr.? Why the go by Strom then? James Thurmond. That's a perfectly normal fucking name. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, see. Look how he looks like Donald Pleasance, which is really unfortunate for Donald Pleasance. But that's kind of a waste. Oh, I'm sorry. It was 24 hours and 18 minutes length. Okay, I didn't give the fucking segregationist enough credit. Yeah, oh, here we go. Despite his support for Jim Crow laws, Thurmond denied the accusation that he was racist and by insisting he was a supporter of states' rights and an opponent of excessive federal authority. That's what they always fucking say. They say it today. Oh, let the states decide on gay marriage. Me load you all into fucking train cars. Oh my god. With Thurmond's party switch, he became the first Republican senator from South Carolina since John J. Patterson in 1879. That really shows you how fucking serious the party switch, not just from him, but from society overall, was. Um, yeah, okay, here we go. I was going to say 53, but I was wrong. He was in office from 1956 to 2000 motherfucking 3. Okay, I guess he did finally leave office shortly before he died. So this man was alive during the last year the Redcoats were in service and up until the release of the Lego City World theme. I love that that's what you came to because I know you and I know how much you love your Lego City shit. That's very funny. Yeah, he was a fucking demon from hell who lived forever. And one of the many reasons I fucking hate Joe Biden, by the way, is the fact that he was proud of having worked with this motherfucker. And he was like, we reached across the aisle, we got things done. You shouldn't be proud of working with a fucking demon. Why am I pointing like you can see it? With a fucking demon from hell like Strom goddamn Thurmond. Who, goddamn it, I'm so sad for Donald Pleasance that he looks so much like him. That is so depressing because I like Donald Pleasance. I really like him. I mean, he's dead, but I did like him. Yeah, he retired in 2003 as the only member of either chamber of Congress to reach 100 while still in office. He died less than 6 months later. Thank God. Burn in hell, you fucking sack of shit. Uh, do we have a picture of this lady? Yeah, there we go. There's Strom Thurmond's fucking half-black child. The most racist man alive. Loved him some forbidden fruit, shall we say, because here's the proof of it. Man, that's surreal to only die 10 years after your father. Okay. Uh, wait, he was older than he. I thought he was 20. He was 23. He was 23, fucking a like high school sophomore or junior. Not that she was in school, I'm assuming, because of that era. But that is fucked up, dude. It was bad enough when I thought it was 20 and 16. Knowing it was 23 and potentially as young as 15. Jesus fucking Christ. I guess he didn't pay child support, but he paid for her college and then gave her some money later. Hang on, I'm just reading this. Ha! His family had to add her to the fucking list of his kids. That's funny, man. My God, he didn't get married till he was 40? Or 44? Damn. Oh my god, he was way older than her, too. His first wife. That's, Oh my god, this dude's a fucking pedophiliac. He was 66 when he married his second wife, and she was 22. I mean, that's not. I mean, she is an adult, but like, man, that's fucking nasty. Why? Why you? I get that, like, she was a pageant winner or whatever, so she was probably really beautiful, but like, don't be a fucking pervert, dude. I'm not saying you got to raid the fucking retirement homes, but like, because I mean, that's where he belonged. But like, Christ, you couldn't have gone for a woman in her 40s. Oh my god, these fucking goddamn pedophile sacks of shit. According to NBC News in 2017, it was widely acknowledged around Congress that Thurmond inappropriately touched women. I'm floored. The racist? You're telling me that the guy who hates black people has a fast and loose attitude with consent? I'm floored, man. I gotta fucking lie down. Cokie Roberts. I don't know if it's Cokie or Cookie. I'm gonna say Cokie. Cokie Roberts said that Thurmond kissed her on the mouth while she was live on the air at a political convention. She stated that Thurmond was in a category of his own when it came to politicians and sexual harassment. These people are fucking demons. They are demons from hell. For those of you who think that, like, Trump as openly evil as he is new, it's not fucking new. People like this existed for decades. Female Senate staffers from the late 80s and early 90s recalled that Thurmond was on an informal list of male senators who were known for harassing, such as while alone in elevators. These fucking people are evil. He was still doing this when he was an old man. Thurmond, who was 91 at the time of the incident, tried to fondle her breast in an elevator. Patty Murray, how old was she? Way fucking younger than him. Okay. Damn. Normally, so maybe he wasn't exclusively a pedophile, considering he was trying to sexually harass a woman in her 40s. Or maybe he just wanted to make a woman feel less than him, which is probably more likely. Reminds me of Anna Nicole Smith's husband. Yeah, at least that, I can't believe I'm saying this, at least that she went into relatively with her eyes open, like she knew what was going on. At least I hope she did. Yeah, I'm going to look that up, actually, and I'm taking it off the screen in case anything bad shows up. Oh, man, I forgot how young she was when she died. In 1990, here, okay, this is okay. I can bring it up. Smith dropped out of high school in 1984. That's sad. Married in 1985 and divorced in 93. In 94, her highly publicized second marriage to 89-year-old gold digger, which she denied. All right, look, I don't want to fucking be mean to women. When you're marrying an 89-year-old, I think we know what is going on here. And that's fine. You know, billionaires are goddamn evil, and I don't mind them getting fleeced out of their money. But I'm kind of curious what his interest in her even was, given that he was 89, because, like, I don't think Viagra existed back then. Was she just a... I guess she was a trophy. I don't get this, all right? I get the appeal of a trophy wife if you get to fuck her. Like, at least that coldly, logically makes sense. But if you don't get to fuck your trophy wife, like, I hate to say, why do you have her around? Because, like, maybe she's a lovely person to talk to, and maybe that's all it takes. But if you're one of those guys who hates women and doesn't care about spending time with them or hearing about their feelings, why are you fucking marrying them if you don't get to have sex with them? Is it like, I guess status means a lot to these motherfuckers. I've never understood it myself. Um, 5 half siblings on her father's side. Oh, I know what kind of household she grew up in. That makes sense. Damn, both of her parents outlived her. That's awful. Okay, at least her first husband was age appropriate. I mean, they shouldn't have gotten married when they were 16 and 17, but like at least he wasn't fucking 35. Resulting in speculation that she married him for his money. All right, look, I hate to be that guy, but it's a hell of a stream jumping from fucking Strom Thurmond being a demon to Anna Nicole Smith being a gold digger, possibly. I believe that Smith had borderline personality disorder. That wouldn't shock me. She did come from a household that I'd imagine was pretty fucking terrible. I don't know that for sure, but when you drop out of high school and your father has 5 kids before you, or maybe both before and after, uh, look, yeah, I can't picture that upbringing was very stable. And one of the things that leads to borderline personality disorder was unstable, unstable childhood. Also, she was in Naked Gun 3, which I'd forgotten until I watched it before the new one came out. Not the other day, but like a few months ago. Damn, she was on like 11 drugs when she died. Yeah, that's sad. Oh, she got a fucking Razzie Award. That's depressing. I mean, okay, you don't mean the movie Skyscraper I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie, Skyscraper. Have you really never seen Naked Gun 3? That's surprising. It's all right. Neither 2 or 3 is quite as good as 1, but they're both pretty funny. Though 3 does have some 90s era transphobia at the end, where like one of the punchlines is that Anna Nicole Smith has a dick and it like horrifies him. That's not great, but what are you gonna do? Everyone involved is dead now. Uh, the new Naked Gun is really good, and it's on Paramount Plus. Yeah, the Liam Neeson one is good. The fact that the supervillain Doomsday MacGuffin is literally called, like, fucking had me wheezing. Huh, okay. I guess Cal Penn is going to be playing her doctor in a movie based on his memoir. That's interesting. I didn't know her doctor's life story was interesting enough for a memoir, let alone a movie adaptation of it. But I guess it is. I don't know. The only celebrity doctor whose name I remember off the top of my head is Conrad Murray. And I remember his name because when I was about 12, which was when I was first getting really interested in the news and politics, Michael Jackson died. And Conrad Murray was his doctor, and I heard that guy's name on the news every single day for months. And then his legal case went on for another few years after that, and he ultimately got convicted. Oh, I forgot about this one. The guy tripping over the caption, like the chyron saying where they are. I forgot about that. That was awesome. Yeah, the Liam Neeson one was like surprisingly good. It felt simultaneously a lot like the original, but like a modern version of it. I've missed those like live action cartoon movies because the closest thing we've had this century is like the Seltzer and Friedberg, like, epic movie and superhero movie and all that shit. And most of those suck. Like, superhero movie is okay. I've got some fond memories of watching it as a kid, but and it's a more focused movie than most of them, so it feels more like a movie. Whereas like epic movie and disaster movie, the script was what was popular 6 months ago, put that in. Where a superhero movie was like mostly a parody of one thing. Yeah, Seth MacFarlane being the executive producer probably helped. Um, Akiva Schaffer, who's one of the Lonely Island guys, was the director. That's interesting, but it was good. I don't know. It was a solid movie. Now that it's on streaming as of a few days ago, I should watch it again. I want to see Vampire Suck, but the only one Vampire Suck I saw in theaters, and even I was like 13, and even then I was like, this is dog shit. Though there is one line from it I remember where she says, "I wanted to be prom queen since I was sperm in my dad's balls," and as a 13-year-old, I thought that was funny. But the rest of the movie, fuck, it sucked, dude. I mean, watch it if you want, but like, get stoned to watch it, or you're gonna have a bad fucking time. Speaking of getting stoned and watching stuff, I'm kind of sick of waiting for goddamn Peacemaker, so I think I'm gonna go do that and maybe get myself some ice cream or make a grilled cheese. I don't know. I contain multitudes, and I'll figure out what I want when I get there. So take care, everybody. I will see you on Tuesday of next week. Um, I don't know. I'll talk about whatever bullshit I got up to. I just thought the Wolf Boy scene where they're dancing to "It's Raining Men" looked really funny. Um, the fact that I don't remember it means it probably wasn't that funny. Good night to you too, Wadley. Good night to everyone who's watching, either live or later on when the VOD is up, because it's always up. I'll see you on Tuesday. Goodbye, everyone. Nighty night. Keep your butthole tight.